Hello viewers, this is Mark here, and today we have some doubles action against Ayala. Now, doubles matches are very difficult to find on the Battle Finder, so you've got to upload them whilst you can. For those of you who don't know, doubles matches is all about the good team synergy. There's a greater emphasis on supporting moves such as dual screens, trick room, protect, heal pulse, follow me, and other kind of quirkier moves that you don't usually see in the singles meta game. Things such as stealth rocks are less common in doubles, and just in general all-out power is a lot less common. You're less likely to see choice users because you need to be able to switch up moves, otherwise appropriate switching from your opponent can easily just stop a choice user. So, looking at the teams here, on my side, yes, we do have some OU Pokemon. I do feel kind of dirty, like I need to wash the OU out of my hands, but I did used to play OU, and so I do have some knowledge of the tier. So I've got a Life Orb mixed Hydreigon, a standard Gastrodon with Clear Smog instead of the Earth Power, just to stop setup sweepers, and a Doom Desire bulky Jirachi. I've also got a bulky Trick Room Behemoth, dual screens Bronzong, and a support Ordino. Now on my opponent's side of the field, he's got a Politoed, so that means he's got Rain, and although he's got a lot of threats, they are all very fast Pokemon, barring the Metagross, so if I can get the Trick Room up, there shouldn't be too much of a problem here. So let's jump straight into the battle. So, first turn here, my opponent leads with the Politoed, just to set up the Rain, and also leads with the Garchomp, as I just lead with Bronzong and Behemoth, just to get the Trick Room and the screens up, as they are going to be so important during this battle. Yes, they are both just complete taunt fodder, but opponents almost never go for that double taunt on the first turn, so I can usually just set up at least one of them. Now, this is great news because Bronzong completely walls Garchomp, and it can definitely live a hit from the Politoed, barring a crit Hydro Pump, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I would rather have Trick Room up in this battle instead of the dual screens, as my opponent just goes for the substitute with Garchomp, which is a little bit unusual. I am out of the metagame a little bit. Last I heard, Garchomp was Ubers, so I don't really know what sets Garchomps are going to run. But this isn't too much of a problem as Trick Room is now up, so I will be outspeeding it with almost all of my Pokemon here, as I can just go into Slugly, who can completely shut down Politoads as well. There's very little Politoads can do, barring the Perish Song and Toxic to a Gastrodon, so I can just break his sub with Behemoth and Gastrodon, as he just goes again for the Hydro Pump, which is a little bit strange. Maybe he doesn't know what Gastrodon's ability is, but that seems unlikely because he does have an OU weather team, so he must have seen a Gastrodon in OU before. What's more likely is he doesn't know how Storm Drain, the mechanic, works in doubles battles, and what it actually does is it absorbs all water moves, regardless of what water move it is, into Gastrodon, and that raises its special attack, so that's great news as he just pulls off the double switch here. He's not going to stay in with Gastrodon now, with Garchomp now that outspeed in Trick Room, and he's not likely to stay in again with the Politoed because he is choice locked, so I can just go for that Surf. I can abuse the Rain, I've got +1 special attack, and it's not going to hit Behemoth because Behemoth has the Telepathy ability. It's the only Pokemon in the game that gets that, which means that any attacks from your ally which hits multiple Pokemon doesn't affect Behemoth, which is great news because that would have done a lot to Behemoth. As any of you don't know as well, moves that hit more than one Pokemon in doubles hits for less damage, so Surf, Earthquake, Rock Slide, things like that, they all hit for 75% damage rather than the usual 100%. So there is no need changing up moves here, I can just keep spamming the Surfs, as I can just set up Carmine as well with Behemoth just to give it a little bit of a defense boost. And he goes for the Bullet Punch and Protect just to try and stall out Trick Room turns, kind of keep his Pokemon alive for as long as he possibly can. Bullet Punch really does very little damage to Behemoth, that's not too much of a problem, as Behemoth is such a bulky Pokemon, as any of you who've used him in NU will know. The set with max HP, max defense, and then Calm Mind is just so bulky. There's very little that takes it out in one hit, even the super effective hits. So he switches his Crobat out here and switches in the Thundurus and Politoed. Now I can just go for the Ice Beam as he goes for that Prankster Taunt just to shut down the Trick Room. There isn't really much point now in trying to set up Trick Room again, because switching out and switching back in order to use Trick Room, that's 2 turns, and doubles battles don't really last all that long anyway, so 2 turns, I think this was only an 11 turn game, so 2 turns to do that is a bit of a waste, so I just go for the Thunderbolt here on the Politoed switch in. I was thinking he might go to Latias to take the Side Shock, just in case I went for that on the Crobat, so I just went for the safer Thunderbolt, which hits that for some really solid damage. So I switch out here into Jirachi. I don't want to take an Ice Beam from what is, I presume, a Specs Politoed now, as he just goes for the Super Fang and the Ice Beam, as I thought, which doesn't do all that much. It's not too much of an issue, there's nothing Crobat can really do to Jirachi, and there's nothing a Politoed locked onto Ice Beam can do to Jirachi, so Jirachi is safe here for one turn, which will give me a really good opportunity in the future at some point to heal Jirachi back up to full health with Ordino and the heal pulse, so I can just knock out the Crobat with Slugly. Slugly's been doing some really good work this game. He's a couple of KOs already as he brings in the Latios. Trick Room is down, so you know they will be outspeeding me now, and it looks like Slugly's time is over as he goes for the what I presume is Specs Latios. I think that's what all the kids are running these days on Latioses. So he goes for the Draco Meteor, and that's even better now for me because Latios is locked into the Draco Meteor and Politoed is locked into the Ice Beam. So Jirachi is once again safe for this turn, which means I can just go for that Doom Desire on the Politoed. I know it's not going to be a Politoed because I will make sure I kill that off before Doom Desire hits, so something else will have to come in and take a Doom Desire hit from full or mid HP, whether it be the Garchomp or the Latios, which will do a lot of damage. I don't really want it wasted on the Politoed, which is what I do now. I can just kill off that Politoed, and as I bring in the Ordino, I can just go for that Heal Pulse, which will get Jirachi back up to full HP. So Saffron, the team medic, putting in some good work here, healing Jirachi back up to full, although I wasn't able to stop Slugly's injuries, so maybe it's not such a great medic. But anyway, it's okay, it's not a problem. He's down to his last 2 Pokemon now, and I still have 4 left, I think. So it looks like it's going to be game over here. His Latios is locked into one move, which we'll find out in a second, as he just goes for the Earthquake with the Garchomp, which is a good play because Latios has got the Levitate ability. And on this turn, actually, I was going for the Simple Beam with Ordino just to stop it from having that Levitate, so that Garchomp is prevented from using Earthquake, or if he wants to use Earthquake, he's going to hit the Latios. But that's not the case, as he just kills off the Ordino, and I am able to revenge kill the Garchomp with the Psychic, as the Doom Desire now hits, and you can see there it does 50% to Latios, which is a really solid hit. And now I can just send in the Hydreigon, and as soon as there he is locked into Psychic, he decides to run here because he's not going to do anything, and that will be a good game. So that was good game, Kyle Ayala. I hope you all enjoyed this. As I said before, doubles matches are quite rare, and they do make for a different challenge to narrate, but hopefully that was an informative insight into the metagame, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Thank you, goodbye.